Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm losing my mind. What the hell did I do with my mic? Did we not? All right. Let's see. Can we get veggie tostadas and more? Before we get too crazy, before we dive too far in, hello, everybody, and welcome. Let me get ourselves all set up and ready to rock and roll. Let me know if you can see me from over here. We got the cutting board down. Let me get you switched over here. We always try to do new locations for you guys, so let me know what you think. So we got you over here on the cutting board so you can see what the hell's going on. Oh, I kind of like this. Okay, so hello everybody. How are we doing today? We are going and doing a little bit of our veggie, how do we say, taking some of our favorite meals, or some of my favorite meals, and just making them vegified. So how are we going to do that? Well, I've already been kind of hard at work kind of preparing this. Let me show you a little bit over here. Is that I got the potatoes boiling, right? I'm going to show you how to make a veggie tostada, and then we're going to make the tortilla soup. So let me know how, if you've ever had tortilla soup in the chat before we get started. Teresa, how we doing? Mexi, T-Maz, Heater, how we doing today? So before we get into it, Mexican food, as an Italian, you're probably wondering, what the hell are we doing? This is some of my, how do I say, one of my very favorite meals to make. Why? Because it's very simple but very flavorful. So how we're gonna do this is I already have, let me show you. Oh, and this is a little trick right here. This is a little trick of how we do this. Because I didn't want you sitting here waiting for me to roast these damn vegetables. You know, I got my inner Martha Stewart, right? I got my inner Martha. We're going to go ahead and pre-roast these beforehand. So what I'm doing is I got a jalapeno. See how I'm charring it from side to side? It's not quite done yet. But I got some of these charred tomatoes. And if you've never done this, you char the green onion. Yeah, I know it looks all flaccid and sad. But we get a good char taste from that. So we are going to throw that back in the oven. We're going to let that char up for a little bit. And while we're going at it, I'm going to show you how to make a very simple black bean spread. So I want you to get your pan nice and hot. So we're going to turn this on nice and hot. And we are going to have just a regular can of I got Bush's black beans. And honestly, I like the seasoned recipe. I just personally like the seasoned recipe. You can get regular. It's up to you. But we're going to have 1 can of black beans and we have 1 onion. Let me show you how we cut this onion real quick. Make sure you don't have anything on your cutting board. We go edge, edge, and then we cut it in half. Now for me, I like making these half moons. Why? Because it's easier to dice, right? I always find that it's easier to dice when you have your half moon. So I always take that first layer off. And again, doesn't necessarily need to be too pretty, but just make sure you get that skin off. And I want you to score all the way down. Remember what we talked about beforehand. Sharp knife all the time. Sharp knife is going to be your best friend when you are in a kitchen. Why? Because especially when you're cutting onions, as you can tell, you work faster, but you don't cry. Now that's always the best part about whenever you use a sharp knife, is that you don't cry. Especially whenever you are cutting these damn onions. Now I could sit here and stare at you the whole time because I trust myself as I cut these onions all the way down. Now I don't think I need that much. Now let me know. We've been doing these Food Friday streams for a long time now. Have you started changing the way that you cut your onions? Do you change the way that you cut your onions yet? Or maybe you've changed the way that you've cut your green peppers. Because guess what? I'm going to show you how to do one of those too. We have this pan. We're heating it up. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil. And I was looking for, oh damn, do I not have any more olive oil? Oh no, I was just at the store. All right, so that's the end of my olive oil. Isn't that always the worst? When you go to get, you go to the store, you get everything, and then you realize you were out of one thing. What the hell? So hopefully this should be enough for us. Probably not, but oh well. But I'm going to throw half of these onions on here. And I'm going to use, and you know me, I like using this garlic. And this garlic, why? Because I'm lazy. That's why. I like to just already have it already out and ready for me. So I'm going to use probably about a teaspoon of garlic. And essentially what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and I am just going to let this sweat down a little bit. Turn the temperature down. We're going to let that sweat down. Why do you want to let it sweat down? And the thing is, if you're ever cooking onions and garlic, you always want them to cook first, right? You want them to sweat, not cook. If that makes sense. The reason why you want them to sweat is because that's what releases all of their, their good flavors into the oil that you are cooking it in, and it makes it just for better, right? Because you know how it's been whenever you go and cook garlic, and you cook it for too long, what happens? It turns bitter. So that's why we like to watch, especially the temperature of our garlic when we're cooking it here. So I'm just going to give this a quick stir, combine everything, and you know when you're ready to add your ingredients when you smell it, right? When you smell the fragrance. And this is something that we call sweat. It does, Michelle. I personally can't taste the difference, right? And the thing is when you get this jarred garlic, right? It's only garlic, water, and a preservative acid. For me, it just saves so much time, especially when I'm cooking. And believe it or not, when I was a sous chef at the restaurants, they all of our garlic was straight like that, straight out of a container, and used just like that. So we called it fresh garlic, but it's the same thing, right? It's still fresh garlic. But I'm gonna add my black beans to this garlic onion mixture. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a stir, and I am going to throw a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Now it's just a little, nothing too crazy. And we are gonna stir that back together. And this is going to be the bean portion of our tostada. We're gonna break this down, but we're gonna let it simmer, let some spices come together, because that's just how we are gonna go ahead and do that. So it allows us to look at and see what is going on with our, perfect. These are our roasted veggies. Now, these roasted veggies are going to be the base for our tortilla soup. So, with the tortilla soup, I think I'm okay with that. I'll take that. So I'm going to let this sit out for a minute. And for the tortilla soup, I want you to think, you could add these all in together. Not a problem, just kind of blending it. For me, I find that having that extra kind of roast brings out the flavor a little bit. So that's essentially what I am doing. Now, let me know if you've ever used, and it always zooms in all crazy, but let me know if you've ever used this. This is ancho chili. So ancho chili is essentially just a little bit for flavor. Now, one of the things that you'll get with ancho chili, these aren't spicy. These aren't, it's not a spicy pepper, but you can see that they are dried, right? They are dried. And so what we have to do is rehydrate them. Now you're probably wondering, like, Nick, why the hell would you buy a dried pepper just to rehydrate it? Well, it's a very good question. But how we're going to do this is because I've done this recipe so many times. This was my own recipe, I'll tell you that. Whenever I would make this at the restaurants, we would sell out these specials in no time. So what I have over here is some potatoes. So I guess I need a little bit more. But I guess I could just use this. So what I have over here in the back is some potatoes that have been boiling. So these I'm going to show you real quick because we are going to make these smashed potatoes. Now, I'm not going to lose. The thing is, this is fresh tastes best, but jar is totally fine. Right? See, that's that's kind of where I go. Is that I have these potatoes that have been boiling in here. See these mini potatoes? But one of the things that we are doing here is that we cooking them down to the point where we can actually smash them, because we're going to use these part of our tostada. So I have these all the way, bring this back over here, because I want to show you, instead of hydrating these with just, regular water, why not use the hot water that we have already over here? So I drain half of my potatoes. Let me grab this. Yeah, it's not that hot. So I get half of my potatoes, and then I just use that water, a little bit of that boiling water, into a bowl, and then I add our little peppers into that boiling water, right? And the thing is you just want to cover it and just set it aside, because we're gonna let this hydrate, and that water is gonna be a good base for the tortilla soup. Why? And you're probably thinking, or maybe you're like, Nick, what the hell are you doing? So what we are actually going to do is we're gonna blend this pepper, the dried pepper, once it hydrates, with this little monstrosity we have over here, and that's going to be the base for our tortilla soup. So something that is just gives you a little bit more flavor, is what I would say. But as you can see here, once this starts to bubble up a little bit, once it starts to heat, I reduce the temp, and then I add in, where the hell is my cumin? Oh, my cumin over here. So add in my cumin. I add in a little bit of chili powder. Now, you could add in a lot of chili powder. It just depends on how spicy you want it to be. And I throw in just a little bit of garlic powder. Now, this is when it gets fun, because I use my spatula and I actually just smash half of it. Just giving it some smash. You smash half of it and you leave some of the other texture. And once you've done that, I get a little bit of this veggie broth. Hello, who we talking? Bella, how we doing today? So I use a little bit of the veggie broth, and if you're using veggie broth, make sure you shake it up. I'm just gonna throw in about a couple teaspoons or a couple tablespoons in there, stir it up, and we're just gonna set that on low, and we'll let that cook all the way in the back. So now we're getting somewhere. Now I want you to see this. So you can see this pepper, right? You can see these peppers. They're slowly, still hard. I don't know if you can. Still hard, but they're getting somewhere. Now, a way that you can make it a little easier for yourself for time is you can do hot water. Just cover it with a plate. Right? Just cover it with the plate, let the heat kind of residually come over. Sometimes that's how I like to do it, but I'm trying to be quick here. So now we have our tortilla-based soup. So I'm going to turn the pan on, make sure it gets a little warm. I wish I had some more olive oil, but I don't. So we're just going to hopefully get every last little drop out of here. How did I not? Do I not have any more olive oil? I don't. Okay. Well, there's the cat. She got her food, so she's happy. So we have that. Luckily, I have this non-stick olive oil stuff, so I'm just going to spray that in there, hope for the best. But I am going to use the rest of this, the onions, and I am going to use that as part of my base. Now, I am also going to use some of this corn, right? I like using frozen corn because it's more accessible, and it just makes it a little bit easier because it has liquid already into it, right? So if you're cooking a soup, it just kind of helps you with a little bit extra moisture in there too. So we're gonna have that going. We're just gonna let that kind of come together. Just let it do its thing. Actually, you know what? We'll throw a little bit of garlic in there because why not? Because I like garlic. I'm Italian, right? We're Italian making Mexican. You know, we this is how we do it. So we have this going. Now that this has cooled down a little bit, I'm going to chop off some of these roots. And you can see this is just, it's not the best, but it's not supposed to be because it's all about flavor. So I got my food processor, and I'm going to throw that in there. I'm going to take off the stem for this. I'm going to throw a whole jalapeno in there. I'm throwing all these roasted tomatoes in here. And then I'm going to check and see how my pepper is doing. And so it's slowly getting somewhere, right? This is that ancho chili. But if you could see this water, that's what we really want too. So we're going to add a splash of some of that water in there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to smash this pepper. I don't want to say smash it, but I'm going to make sure that the water gets in there and it's nice and hydrated, getting that flavor. And then I'm going to use that water. And then I'm going to use one of these peppers. Now you have to watch out because there is a ton of seeds in here, right? Because it is dried. So if you ever look in here in these dried peppers, there's a ton of seeds in there. I don't personally like using all the damn seeds because then it just becomes all seedy. So I like to get at least some of them out. Now you're not going to get all of them out, but that's not the point. But what you can see is how this turns into more like a leather, right? Like it's like a, and this you wouldn't bite this. This isn't really, I wouldn't say edible. It's edible, but it's not going to be good, right? But we have that. That is going to be our base. So let me go ahead and put this on the blender for a second. Blend it all together. And the best part about this is its flavor, right? You get that smoky tone. I guess we'll just let that blend for a little bit. But when you get the smoky tone when you use that pepper, more than you would on some of the other things. So now that we have that down, you can see we kind of have this, almost looks like a salsa, right? Kind of looks like a salsa. You can see in here we still have that pepper. We still have some of the seeds. So it's not all completely blended because we don't want it to be all completely blended. But I want to show you because we are going to go ahead and throw that into our base once it is ready to rock and roll. And if you're thinking, well, Nick, it's soup. Since we already opened up one of these vegetable stock, not chicken stock, vegetable stock, and that is going to just give you a little bit more flavor, right? Especially when we're trying to get our veggies in. So I like to say this is an anti-inflammatory tortilla soup. Now you're probably thinking, Nick, why the hell is it anti-inflammatory? Well, it's because it got veggies, it's got all the good stuff. Now, look at this thing. This thing is fucking massive, right? This is a zucchini that is absolutely huge. So what we are going to do is only use half of this. Now, I know some people, you guys like when you cut zucchini, maybe you'll want to cut out some of those seeds. That's totally optional. Me, I like doing the half moon. So I cut them in half. And again, all the way down and just doing these half moons because what you find out is that you get these little things. And so when you're making soup, I find that it makes it just a little bit better, just a little bit better for yourself. So we will actually start throwing that and breaking that up in here as well. So let me... let's cut that in half. I don't know what the hell they're growing over here. These things are fucking massive. Maybe you need to do diamonds. Maybe you need to do this instead of half moons because of the stuff that they got going on, right? That is just crazy. What's going on? I don't know what the hell they doing anymore with these fruits. But I will say one thing. When I was at the store, they gave me a free sample of an apple. Impressive shit. Oh, thanks, Debbie. You're too nice. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but it's a sugar bee apple. It's a new apple. They were developed by honeybees, and I thought that they're made from Honeycrisp flowers. So if you're interested, no, look at. I haven't had it obviously because they gave it to me in a box, but it's supposed to be a sweet. I don't know, a sweet apple. So if you see these, let me know if you try them. Sugar bee apples. Hopefully they're not like $300, because that would be that would be ridiculous. But you know how they do. Here's this new apple. They give it to you for free. Never heard of that before, right? That was the first for me. I was like, I've never heard of this. And she's like, it's a new apple because of the bee. Well, she couldn't even explain it. She said that the bee was pollinating with the honey crisp or that honey flower, and then next thing you know, this new apple appeared in their orchid. And I said, well, damn, let me try it, right? If you're giving it to me for free, I guess I'll try it. I guess that makes sense. All right. So let's take this out and let's just get trying to explain. So this is like a salty, how do you say salty? I don't know. This is fucking good, right? And again, if you want the recipe, wait for me to make this to make sure that it's actually good, and then I'll send it on over to you. But if you're interested in the recipe, wait for my stories. I'm gonna post the finished product on my stories because this is just the base, people, right? This is just the base that we're doing. Wait till you see the toppings. I'm gonna make a tortilla dust. Now that's gonna be a fun way to do it. So tortilla dust is basically me getting these. We'll have two ways that we're gonna do it. Actually, we're gonna do that next anyway. So we're using corn tortillas. And we have these flour zero tortillas as well. So with the flour zero tortillas, high in fiber, but they are so damn small. So I figured, let me get both of them so we can show, because I don't know what's going on. And then I found this sauce that they, I've never saw before, but I figured I would try it. This is something called creamy habanero botana sauce. I have no idea what the hell that even means, but it's made from water and avocado oil and carrots and dates. And so I figured it's only 10 calories and it's made from actual real ingredients. Well, fuck it, I'll try it. Now, I don't know if I'll like it, but we'll try it. So now, let me show you my tortilla soup base. It just looks like a bunch of damn vegetables, because that's essentially what it is. So look at our tortilla soup base. If you could smell this. Oh my God. That's what we want. That's what we want to smell. So we have the tortilla soup base, and I'm going to go, where the hell is I'm losing my damn mind. Oh, it's over here. And we're going to go ahead and just throw the veg stock in there. And that, my friends, we just let this cook down. And if we need to, we could throw some more. Damn, that is a lot of zucchini. That is, it's a lot of zucchini. I threw a lot of zucchini in there. Oh, well, whatever. We're going to be eating zucchini. But now this is where you throw your pepper and your spices. So we're going to throw in cumin. I like to just do, I would say it's about 2 tablespoons. You don't want to overdo it. I like, again, throwing that chili powder. We are going to throw in a little bit of garlic powder. And then we're also going to hit it with a little bit of this garlic herb, black pepper, sea salt special blend from McCormick. Now, we also have to think, for all my people who have heartburn, is that this is going to be a very acidic type of soup, right? Like most Mexican food is, right? Most acid-based, a lot of veggie stuff. So if you need to, you could go ahead and throw in some, like a carrot, just to kind of tone that stuff down. If you want to go ahead and be a rebel, by all means, let's go ahead and just do it as is. So let me show you my little black bean mixture that we are making. Is that you can see how some of it is smashed, see how some of it is kind of connected. We want that texture. That's going to be for our tostadas. Now you're probably thinking, Nick, what the hell are we making? We got a little bit of everything too, and let me show you. We also have, where did I put it? So these is a new peanut butter cookie recipe. So there's my batter for my peanut butter cookies. Made from fresh peanut butter, like 4 ingredients. Now again, testing it out, seeing if it works. We'll find out here a little bit later. Because the whole goal, if you haven't noticed, is that I am in the midst of making a cookbook. So I have to test all of these different things out because we're going to be making 2 cookbooks, right? We have the Healthy Yinzer cookbook, which is like healthier recipes. And then we have the Healthy Yinzer cookbook with an X through it that is, some of my, I wouldn't say not the healthiest of recipes, but healthy for the mind, body, and soul, right? That's how it is. So we're going to have 2 of them, and I got to test out my damn recipes. So that's why we do these Food Fridays. If you ever wonder, Nick, why do we do all these Food Fridays? Because we are testing things out for eventually when it happens, we will have our cookbooks out and ready to rock and roll. Now, this is something I've been telling myself for the last 6 years in business. So we'll wait till it actually happens. But now that we have that down, we have, these potatoes, is that you can see we have some potatoes. Now, with these potatoes, I already had them slightly boiled. Now they're just, I would say they're like al dente. Now the reason I have them slightly boiled is because we are actually going to quarter these. And what we are going to do with this is we're actually going to toast these up, or you could fry them in the oven, depending on whatever one you do, or you can actually make these smashed potatoes. It is totally optional to what you are going to do. But since we are making veggie tostadas, I want to show you. This is basically going to be the in-between. This is your meat. You have these potatoes, and I like using gold potatoes. So many people give potatoes such a bad name. Now the thing is where it becomes a bad, or potatoes become bad for you, is when you just fry them in a whole bunch of oil and a whole bunch of bullshit. But potatoes itself, we wouldn't be humans if we didn't have potatoes, right? So let's be real. And they are something that is very accessible for most people to eat. Most people aren't allergic to potatoes. So I say, get yourself a damn potato every once in a while, right? Sweet potatoes, gold potatoes, whatever potato. But now we have a couple of these quartered, and you just cut them in half and then cut them right in half again. I'm going to bring them over here. Bring this knife somewhere special. And then I'm going to, looks like these are done. So we'll turn the heat up here, and these are done. Look at that. Look at our black bean mixture, right? Look at our little black bean mixture. And let's just taste it, make sure everything is perfect. Now, if you saw me making this earlier, this is going to be basically the base, right? This is the base. If you're somebody who likes black beans, you would really like this. All it is onion, garlic, black beans, and a little bit of apple cider vinegar. That's all it is. And what you do is you smash up half of it. You only smash up half and let the other half for texture. Very simple addition. If you're making tacos, if you're making whatever the hell you're making, adds a little bit more fiber, a little bit more protein, and beans are always good for you. Just make sure you ain't going out, you don't have anything left to do. Yeah, you know what I mean. But we're getting this nice and heated. I'm going to show you how to make our little dust. So, let me go for these. Wait till that is nice and hot. We'll scooch that over. Nope. Kitty, get out of here. So there's a couple ways you could do this for the base. Now, sometimes you could just strip corn tortillas and make tortilla strips for your tortilla soup. Or you can make tortilla dust, which is what I like to do. It's a little bit more fancier, but oh well, that's why we're here. Because you could actually just do this, right? and now you have your tortilla strips. You can season this, and you could throw these in the oven. You could throw these in the air fryer, and you would have tortilla strips. Very simple, right? You don't need to buy them at the store for $4 whenever. You could just buy a pack. This is the thing. This is how they get us, right? This is how they get us. Oh, you want tortilla strips for your salad? Well, buy the $7, $4 pack, or you could buy the $3 Mission tortilla things and just cut them up and make them yourself, right? But they get us because of the convenience. That's what it all comes down to. They get us because of the convenience. So we have, fuck, I don't have any more oil, do I? I don't. What oil do I have? Oh, I don't want to use this, but I guess I have to. So I'm going to use a cup of vegetable oil because that is not going to work on my potatoes. So we have a cup of this vegetable oil, and you always, if you're always making potatoes, make sure it is a hot pan, or else you're just going to be sitting there for way too long. And the reason I boiled these two was just to cook them quicker, right? And you get a different crisp on the edge. That's my little hack right there. So we're gonna let that go, and we are going to look at our tortilla strips. So look at these tortilla strips. Very kind of looks like whatever, but I want to go ahead, bring them together, crush them. Essentially what we are going to do here is you don't want to make them too fine, but you want to have them like this, right? See how they're like that? So one thing that you are going to do, and I like to put this all in a big pile, is you throw a little bit of that chili powder. You throw a little bit of the cumin, as you could tell, the famous spices, but we throw a little bit of the paprika. A little bit of smoked paprika. Who the hell opened this? My girlfriend opened this, and now it's just, all right. Let me get it from the bottom here. The paprika. And then we just kind of mix this together a little bit here. Make sure you stir that. And a little bit of, where the hell is it? My lime. This is where it all comes together, right? So you're using the lime zest. Now, if you're ever using lime zest, make sure that you rinse that off, because there is so much, they spray so much shit on there. There's like, I don't even know if it's zest that we're taking off of this anymore when it comes down to it. But we want a little bit of lime zest. If I could find my zester, that would be... I don't even know if I still have mine. I think mine didn't disappear. I think it actually... Now that I think about it. Oh well. So how we're going to do this is we're going to cut off a little bit of zest. Right? And this is how you do this, right? If you don't have your zester, see that white... I don't know if you can see that. Cut off a little piece like that. And I want you to chop it up nice and fine. And this is, again, why you use a sharp knife. And then we just mix it with this tortilla blend. And the best part is you throw that. You could either put this in a pan fry, or you could throw this right into the oven. And this is the reason why I boil. Let me show you these before I burn my damn hand off. That ain't gonna work. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with these. Just use a normal song. I was like, oh, that would work. What the hell am I trying to do? So, when you see, especially the boil, that right there, that crisp, that's what we're looking for. right? You can't do that if you just put your pan right in there. You would burn it, right? But it's also the stickiness from the starch. So you have to leave it at one position. And again, you could do that fried. It's almost like it's a pan fry. It's exactly what it is. You could do that in the air fryer. You could do all it whatever works best for you. Now, I'm gonna let that cook down a little bit. We look at our soup. That is boiling, so we know just to turn that down. And since we are here, as soon as we're done boiling, I like to get the edge of this lime, and then we throw that right into the soup. You can just see. Let's see if we can. You can't see that. I'll show you through. But let's reduce that a little bit. We have this going. And I tell you what, my friends, we're getting slowly closer and closer to our finished product here. So, we have, I guess I do have it. Let's heat up our pan. And we're going to toast this. And then we're going to make it turn into dust. We're going to turn it into dust. Actually, I realized I didn't put any turmeric. Now, if you ever use turmeric in anything, make sure you don't touch it. Turmeric will stain your damn clothes. Stain your fingers too. If you ain't, let me know in the chat. If you ever stain your clothes from some turmeric, you ever stain your clothes from anything like that, it sucks because it doesn't come out. It really does not come out. It kind of sucks. So let's look over here. You can see we're starting to get somewhere with our potatoes. Our soup is boiling. It's heating up. We have our pan heating up for our tostito dust. Or tostito dust. I don't know why. I guess it is tostito dust. But we're slowly getting there. And you got to think, yeah, we got 3 meals going on before, and we got the beans done. So you can't beat that. So now that gets us to where our toppings. And that, I always look for the ripe, right? Always got to give it a nice little squeeze. And then, and let me show you. This brings up a good point. Most people cut themselves not on the avocado, like at this portion. And this is the way I do it. I like to cut in half and then roll it all the way around using the knife. You do the twist. But most people cut themselves trying to get the damn thing removed. So, how we could do this is you could use the back edge of your knife, stab into it, turn, boom. Look at that. It's a miracle. And you're not in there trying to jam it out and stabbing it and, trying to get at the old Freddy Krueger. No. But the thing is now, how you gonna, don't cut yourself trying to get the damn seed out. Best part is with avocados, most people try to slice the avocados on the cutting board, and that is just the wrong way to do it. We cut everything inside the avocado just like this. Use the skin, and you are going to go slice. Don't slice all the way through the skin. You could put it on the cutting board as well, just so you could. I'm trying to figure out the best way to show you. And you could just slice it all the way through. Make sure you don't get any of those nasty skin chunks on there. But you could slice it all the way right here. Pops out. I'm a little lazy. Trinity, I guess we're all lazy, right? When it comes down to it. But I like to do that and just squeeze it. And I'm not looking for uniform, but I find that it gives me it sliced more than, right? Something to consider. And we're going to do the same thing over here. You could always squeeze it, right? You could always squeeze just like Trinity, just like you were saying, right? You could just squeeze it and just off you go. But if you're ever wondering about the brownness, Nick, my avocados turn brown. Help. Well, The reason they turn brown is because of oxidation. So oxidation meaning the oxygen gets to them. Way that you could do that is with a little bit of lime juice. That will help keep them from turning brown. Simple hack while you're waiting for your other stuff. Because now that this is heating up, we're going to go ahead and just throw that right on. And don't walk away from this, right? If you're making dust from tostadas, you know, making the topping, do not walk away, because they will burn and you won't even know. So these potatoes, I'm gonna throw that in there at 350, and we're just gonna let that cook a little bit. Let me clean up some of this. Let's see how. Oh, wow, that's got some good flavor. Let me bring it over here. And you could spread this out a little bit so it cooks up a little even. Just make sure you do not walk away if you are making the dust. That is very important. And let me know how everybody. Oh, I forgot all about this. What do we have here? And see, we got our beans nice and cold. This is, wait till we start to plate this. You're gonna be like, damn, Nick, this is where we're at. So let me put this into a container here, just to clear up some space. So we have our beans ready to rock and roll. We have our tortilla slowly coming up to temp. We could turn that off. We're slowly getting there, people. We are slowly getting there. So one more thing is that we're actually going to clean off this, because no tostada, you can't have a tostada without having some crisp, when I mean crisp, iceberg lettuce, or some sort of lettuce in general. So this is how we're going to do it. I don't know. Iceberg lettuce doesn't have really any nutrients at all. It really doesn't. It's just water. But if you ever see this, right, the stem, this is how I do. And it's, if you're angry, you could just smash that stem while it's still in the bag, because then when you pull it out, it's nice and easy, right? You pull out all the center. Usually I do that with broccoli. You could smash the broccoli, you smash all the cauliflower, everything would just fall right out. So if you're ever pissed off, get yourself some lettuce, smash the hell out of it, and take the damn stem off. But I'm going to use this. I'm going to cut this in half. Now this is a little it's a little advanced. So if you got some good knife skills, this is where you shine. Is that you're going to start here. Damn, I still got this thing on. I'm like, my arm, I'm burning my arm hair. So if you got some good knife skills, I want you to start here. And what you're doing is you're actually shredding this lettuce. And so what it looks like is that, right? Is that you're looking for that kind of, that feel. If you got some knife skills, the way that you could do that too is just rolling this up and just going after it. You tried that too? Yeah, right? I always find that it's the best way to do it, is just smash it, right? Beat the hell out of it. Call it a day. Come back to it. So we have, this is starting to toast up a little bit. We need it just a little bit toastier. How can you have tortilla soup without having the damn tortillas, right? That doesn't make any damn sense. Because you can't. Now let me know. Do we have any... Oh, I shut that off. Do we have anybody who, when they eat, or should I say, they have cilantro, that it tastes like soap. Do we have any of those people? Do we have any soap tasters? Do we have any of those umami soap tasters? You don't eat cilantro, or maybe you do like cilantro, but you can't because it tastes like shit. Let me know. I'm curious. I had a couple clients that were like that. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? They're like, I can't have it. I'm like, well, okay then. This soap. Look at this. Look what we got here. Let me show you. Let me just kind of show you what we got for this the tortilla soup here. So we have our tortilla soup. You can see we are a bunch of veggies in there. We have probably way too much zucchini, and I probably could have cut them down a little bit. But then we have us over here with our fresh lettuce, our iceberg lettuce. And then if we come all the way up here, we have our bean mixture that has garlic, onion, just in some peppers. And we have our potatoes. And would you look at that, though? That is the Healthy Yinzer cutting board. Would you look at that? I know a lot of times people don't remember, or maybe they don't realize because we just joined it, but I've been a sous chef for most of my life before I switched over into the exercise world. And at any one of my clients, I gave them, and I would reward them with one of those cutting boards. So my services weren't cheap, so I got, that was my nice gesture. I will say we still have 4 of those cutting boards left. Maybe maybe we give them away one of these days. We do a giveaway for one of those cutting boards. I will say, these cutting boards, I shipped one to my grandma for Christmas. It cost like $80 to ship. So we'll just keep that where it is. So now that we have that, we're all said and done. I want us to look right, nice, easy tortilla. We are going to let that sit aside. Now it's up to us to assemble the tostita. I am going to bring these to the side. I guess I can bring this back here. I don't know why I'm playing magical burners, but I am. So with the yellow corn tortilla, we have to heat this up. So with the tostada, this is how it's going to go. We are going to go actually, let me just put them both in here. Let me see what's going on in here. We have our potatoes. As you can tell, look at those nice roasted potatoes, nice and easy. And then now, usually when you have a tostada, it's very crunchy, right? It's a very crunchy tortilla. It's a corn tortilla. So you will have to toast these for a little bit longer, or if you wanted to, you can, again, fry them up, whatever you want to do. I'm not looking to fry them. I'm looking to just assemble. So I'm going to teach you how to assemble this. So let me see. Can you see the plate? Let's see. There we go. We got the plate right there. Bingo. Okay. Plate right here. So we are assembling. We want to make sure that these are nice. We are going to start with the base. So we're going to start here with the base. Now we're going to try this habanero, avocado, whatever the hell. It smells good, so why not? So we're gonna try this where we go all around. We are going to use our base of our black beans. We're going to throw that right here in the middle. Yeah, look at that. And then we add one of these tostadas. straight to the mix. And then if you've ever been involved with chef or cooking or anything, it's all about height, right? It's all about how high you can make this. So we're gonna bring some of our toasted potatoes. We are gonna bring those on top as well. Now again, you could season these, you could do whatever the hell you want, but there's a lot of flavor going on in here. So we're gonna tostado those. And then we have we're gonna go with another layer of our black bean just right in the middle. Why do we do this? It's for basically a glue, right? So this is basically the glue. And then you add your tostito, you add some lettuce to the top. That is that's hot. And then we start to build, right? You could build from here. Now, we add our toppings. What toppings do we have? Well, luckily, I have some salsas in here somewhere. So I have a Mexican style salsa. Cat, get out of here. Now, how you would do this is you get some salsa. You can have it from the side. You could bring it up to the top, right? You could go all the way through. Whatever's going to work best for you. And that is a nice, easy tostada from Veggie. And you add a little bit of cilantro. Nice and easy. And then you use the end of your, let me bring this over here. And if you're chopping, you can use your lime. And then now, come on now, right? Look at that. Very easy, right? And so you can see it's got a little bit of height with the thing. Now, personally, like if I was doing breakfast, I would throw a fried egg on here. Right, so let me just kind of show you. Let me give you a little bit of, let's get you a little closer here. So that's just a simple veggie tostado. Let's look at this. So we have the iceberg lettuce, we have the salsa, we have the lime, and if you get a little bit closer, you see it has the layer of the black beans, the potatoes, and then it sticks it all together. And that, pretty simple, right? I mean, it's not the plate. Probably not the best plate for that, but whatever, you know. We're live here. We're just trying to show you how you could do this at your house. So you could do a pico de gallo, you could do all that stuff. But yeah, make it yourself, make it your own, right? But all this is black beans, garlic, potatoes, veggies. You know, I'm going to put this away because I'm going to eat this here in a minute. Now, before I close up shop here, what the hell am I doing? What did I have one more. We have one more thing left to do. Here we go. So, our soup. We have to. If you thought that was the final, you were wrong. We are going to throw some of this into a sieve. Because, let me just use this, just to get a little bit more of that flavor. In our tortilla soup. I want you to look at, oh my God. You can see all of that nice toasted flavor. Oh my goodness. It is going to be Wonderful. So smashing some of these veggies in there. And we're going to throw it right back in. And I am going to use some of those for my tortillas, for my tortilla. See how this all works together? Right? So now that I have some of this, I'm going to put that right there on the top of my tostada. And that, my friends, is how we do it. So now, look at that. Oh, my kitchen is smelling like, that's the thing. I got to eat something, right? That's the problem right now, is when I do all this, I make too much, and then I'm like, I got to fucking eat. But the problem is that I do all this, and then I realize that I have to clean up my kitchen, but I also got a diabetic cat that makes sure that if I leave anything here, that she will go ahead and absolutely destroy. So I have to make sure I clean this stuff up. So that, my friends, is how we do it. And if you are, where am I going to put that in the freezer? I will share the recipes. Just stay tuned to my stories. I'm going to share the recipes here in a little bit. So make sure, I got to make sure it eats, right? I got to make sure it works first before I let you and I share it to the masses. There was one time where I made a recipe and I shared it to the masses and it absolutely failed. And I was like, oh shit. Oops. Hopefully, and I got a couple people that messaged me, Nick, this didn't work. I'm like, yeah, it wasn't the best. So I realized, let me test it first and then I'll send it on over to you. So that, my friends, is our Food Friday. We did our tostada, we have our veggie, we have our soup over here, and I tell you what, it is smelling good, it's smelling great. I can't wait to eat it, and I need to eat it because I'm fucking starving. So, thanks everybody for tuning in, and you know what, we're going live every day this month. So tomorrow we're going to be making smoothies together. So it's going to be little smoothies with Nick. We're going to have a little Q&A. So if you have any questions, you have any answers, or if you have any questions, hopefully I got the answers for you. So make sure you tune in. We're going to do it at 10:30 tomorrow. We're going to do it at 10:30. I think it's 10:30 or 10 a.m. I don't know. But it's tomorrow morning, so make sure you tune in. Holy hell, that is the biggest squirrel. Biggest squirrel. All right, so I will see you tomorrow. And then if I don't see you tomorrow, make sure I see you at the Sunday yoga class. I'm going to see you then. So thanks everybody for tuning in. You guys are awesome. And if you want the recipes, make sure to stay tuned to my stories. Or you know what? I'll throw it in the broadcast channel. What the hell am I thinking? I'll see you next time. Peace, everyone. So that, my friends, over here on YouTube is our Food Friday. So hopefully you got some value. Hopefully you're able to see a little bit of how we were able to get some of this stuff done. My hand is on fire. I am starving, and I will see you